The rain does not fall, it descends. It is a solid, roaring wall of water that has been collapsing on the world for 2 suns, and the world has broken beneath it. Kale clings to the rough bark of a fallen giant, his knuckles white, the muscles in his arms screaming. His mate Mara is a pale shape beside him, her body a shield over their small daughter, Lonnie. The log, their entire universe, pitches and rolls in the brown, churning water that was once their valley. This is the brutal reality of their prehistoric world, a lesson taught not by tooth or claw, but by the indifferent sky. Their finely honed survival skills, meant for tracking prey across dry earth and reading the signs of the forest, are useless here. They are simply flotsam. A violent shudder nearly throws them into the deluge. The log groans under a new, immense weight. Kale's head snaps around, his heart a frantic drum against his ribs. It is not a rock, not another tree. It is a living mountain of bone and scale, a creature of the deep forest dragged into their desperate talk. An Ankylosaurus, low and wide, its back a mosaic of armored plates, digs its claws into the wood. It is a fortress of flesh, and it is terrified. A low, guttural moan escapes its terrified. A sound of pure misery that vibrates through the log. It's stale, a solid club of bone that could shatter Kale's entire lineage with a single, lazy swing, rests perilously close to them. One spasm, one panic move, and their chapter of hominid history ends here. Mara pulls Lonnie tighter, a silent, primal command to be still. The child does not cry, she has already learned that sound attracts the wrong kind of attention. The great beast's eye, small and black beneath a horny ridge, swivels to look at them. It is not the eye of a predator, it is the eye of a fellow victim. There is no malice in it, only the same stark terror that grips Kale, the family of Australopithecus and the armored dinosaur, 2 forms of prehistoric life that would otherwise give each other a wide and wary berth, are now neighbors in a drowned world. For a long moment, time stretches, measured only by the drumming rain and the panicked breaths of 2 utterly different species. The hard choice is not a choice at all. To remain on the log is a gamble on a monster's temperament. To enter the water is a certainty of death. Then, a new shape slices through the water nearby. It is not debris. A long, serrated ridge of spine, a sail of skin and bone, breaks the surface before sinking back into the murky depths. Kale feels a coldness that has nothing to do with the rain. He has seen that sail before, on the banks of the great river in the dry times. Spinosaurus, the true king of the water. The Ankylosaurus sees it too. Its body tenses, a low growl rumbling in its chest. The threat is no longer the creature sharing their refuge. The true threat is the water itself, and the ancient dinosaurs that now command it. Days and nights blur into a grey, sodden continuum. The world is water, and the log is their only law. A strange and silent pact is forged in the crucible of shared fear. Kale and Mara become the eyes. Their vantage point, perched higher on the log's spine, allows them to see farther across the churning brown sea. They watch for the telltale ripple, the shadow beneath the surface, the dreaded sail of the Spinosaurus. Their early human's intelligence, their primary weapon in a world of giants, is repurposed not for the hunt, but for the watch. The Ankylosaurus becomes the muscle. It cannot see as they do, its eyes set low and wide, but it can feel the vibrations through the log. It understands their sharp, guttural cries of alarm. The truce is tested when the predator returns. It is not a frontal assault. The Spinosaurus is a creature of ambush and patience, a master of its new aquatic domain. It surfaces 30 paces away, a silent, rising monolith of predatory hunger. Its long, narrow snout, studded with conical teeth, is a nightmare-given form. Before Kale can even shout, Mara lets out a piercing shriek. The sound cuts through the drone of the rain. The Ankylosaurus, which had been in a state of near torpor, reacts instantly. Its massive body shifts, the log groaning in protest. The tail, that instrument of geologic force, lifts from the wood. It doesn't swing, not yet. It is simply presented, a declaration of intent. The Spinosaurus submerges, leaving only spreading ripples. It is an intelligence point in their shared, desperate existence. A system is born. The hominids provide the warning. The dinosaur provides the deterrence. Kale finds a splintered branch caught in the log's roots and, with a shard of sharp stone he carries in his leather pouch, he begins to scrape. Hours of painstaking work, a testament to the dawn of primitive technology, produce a crude, fire-hardened point. It is a pathetic spear against a beast that size, a toothpick to a leviathan, but the act of making it is an act of defiance. It is a refusal to be mere prey. He watches the dinosaurs hide. The thick plates and bony nodules, the osteoderms, that make its back an impenetrable fortress, and understands the profound difference between them. It was born a weapon. He must create his. This foresight keeps them alive. They learn the predator's habits. It is most active at the grey hours of dawn and dusk, using the low light to its advantage. During these times, the family remains utterly still, huddled near the center of the log, while the Ankylosaurus stays alert, its tail tracing slow, menacing arcs. There is no comfort, no friendship. When the dinosaur defecates, the thick, fibrous paste, they push it away with branches. When they manage to snatch a passing, bloated fish from the watered fish, they eat it raw and shivering, turning their backs to the beast. It is an alliance of convenience, a fragile ecosystem on a single floating tree. Their anthropology is being written in real time, a story of two species at opposite ends of the evolutionary scale, bound by the oldest law, survived the monster in the dark. The change comes not as a sight, but as a smell. On the wind, beneath the stench of decay and wet earth, is the scent of living green. Kale lifts his head, his nostrils flaring. There, on the edge of the world, is a smudge of darker color against the grey sky. Land, solid stable land. A surge of hope, fierce and painful, courses through him. Mara sees it too. Her hand gripping his arm. Their temporary sea is shrinking, concentrating what lurks within it. Their log is no longer a tiny island in an ocean, but a very visible target in a tightening net. The attack is the embodiment of that desperation. There is no warning sill, no subtle ripple. The Spinosaurus erupts from the water directly beside them, a cataclysm of foam and fury. Age older than Kale, his tall snaps shut inches from Lonnie, the sound of wet thunderclap that shudders the air. The beast is trying to shatter their refuge, to spill them into its domain. It lunges again, its claws gouging deep furrows in the wood, trying to gain purchase. This is the final dinosaur fight, the last stand. In this moment of pure chaos, a flicker of humanity sparks into a flame. It is a plan born of absolute terror. Kale screams not in fear, but a battle cry. He thrusts his pathetic spear, the product of his primitive technology, not at the creature's thick hide, but at its eye, that doesn't blind the orbit. It doesn't blind the beast, but the shock of pain is immense. The Spinosaurus rears back, its roar a sound of geological agony. It turns its titanic head towards Kale, its true fury now focused on the tiny, defiant mammal. This is the altruism point, a sacrifice of self for the group. As the predator's attention is fixed, Mara hurls the single, heavy stone she has kept, striking the beast on its sensitive snout. The distraction is all the Ankylosaurus needs. It has been braced, the living anchor of muscle and bone. With the monster's head turned, its vulnerable side is exposed. The dinosaur's tail uncoils. It is not a swing, it is an execution. The bony club, a perfect instrument of destruction honed over millions of years of evolution, connects with the Spinosaurus's jaw and neck with a sound like a rock slide. Bone shatters. The great predator convulses, a broken thing, and slides back into the brown water, trailing blood. The log drifts on in the sudden ringing silence. When they finally grind against the muddy shore, the feeling of solid earth is dizzying. Kale stumbles off, pulling Mara and Lonnie with him. The Ankylosaurus follows, its heavy feet sinking into the soft ground. For a moment, they all stand on the precipice of a new, drier world. The family looks at the dinosaur. The dinosaur looks back. There is no understanding, no acknowledgement. The pact born of the water has died on the shore. The shared threat is gone. The great beast turns and lumbers into the dense, dark foliage, its armored back disappearing into the trees. The family is alone, shivering and alive. Their improbable chapter of hominid history is over. The family does not watch it go for long. They turn their backs on the water and the monster they left in it, and face the forest. They are impossibly small figures against the landscape of giants. Their survival is a statistical anomaly in the grand, brutal ledger of paleontology. What transpired on that log will never be recorded in stone, never found in the fossil record. It is an echo in the silence, a ghost of an event that shaped the future of a species in ways no one could ever know. The great lesson was not one of dominance, but of symbiosis. They learned that survival does not always mean being the strongest. Sometimes, it means being clever enough to stand behind the strongest, to direct its rage, to turn a walking fortress into a weapon, a shield, an answer to an impossible question. Their journey through this prehistoric world was not about conquering dinosaurs, it was about outthinking them. This is the genesis of the human story. We did not ascend by developing the sharpest claws or the thickest hide. We ascended because when trapped on a log with a monster, while another monster hunted us from the deep, our ancestors learned to use one to destroy the other. The chronicle is silent. The echo is you, but the sky holds its own tyrants.